Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Get me to 1,000 subs. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about YouTuber Brianne Worth and why a lesbian is reacting to what heterosexual men are doing. And I'm going to specifically highlight why she's reacting to passport bros, who of course she avoids the fact that passport bros are black. And if you don't believe me, just look up the man who owns the trademark that gave a legal warning to MLD and David Bond when they tried to make a Passport Bro podcast. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about why people like her never comment about the predators among her people. You know, the alphabet sex cult, aka LGBTQ. Now, again, how do I know this chick is a lesbian? Well, you look up her YouTube and it's a bunch of lesbian thirst trap reactions. You know, and when she's not reacting to those, she's reacting to TikToks talking about straight men. Because as we know, if you're a member of the alphabet sex cult and a feminist, you hate men. And people like this have the audacity to wonder why heterosexuals, you know, normal people, talk about their particular demographic. Well, they spend their entire lives talking about regular people, heterosexuals. And also, a great deal of their agenda is about trying to sexually recruit children to their sex cult. So that's another reason why it's relevant to talk about these types of people. But again, throughout this video, when she was talking about passport bros, she was mainly highlighting white dudes. Now, she did highlight two black dudes, one black traveler and Corey Holcomb, based on his comments about poverty-stricken women and how he uses his money to get what he wants out of them. Now, he's not even a passport bro. Even though he's black, he's a comedian that's primarily in the United States. So I guess I can give her a half thumbs up for at least highlighting two black dudes, but the one black dude that she did highlight is not even a traveler, that being Corey Holcomb. But, you know, you could tell she's one of these typical anti-white white women who also hates all heterosexual men, but of course is only brave enough to highlight the white men. You know, and again, I forgot to highlight, this chick is currently living in Australia, and I think that's where she's from as well. And last time I checked, the passport bros don't even go to Australia. So again, she's injecting herself into a subject matter that doesn't include her in any way, sexually, geographically, racially. You know, but at the very least, you know, you could be honest about it if you're going to talk about it and highlight the demographic that's responsible. But again, an Aussie who's a more racially cucked white than even liberal white Americans, they're terrified to highlight the POC demographic. I mean, because there's many issues she could be talking about that's relevant to her. You know, the immigrant invasion, how white Aussie grandmas can get stabbed to death in front of their grandkids, and the Australia government goes out of their way to protect the criminal and let most of the perpetuators involved in that crime, let them go free. You know, because it was a male that stabbed the female older woman to death. So if she had this concern with, you know, the treatment of women, she would comment on that. But again, it goes against her liberal logic to where she'll talk about men and crimes against women, but they have to include heterosexual white men. Can't include POCs because don't want to be called racist. Matter of fact, a female member of her own family could get sexually assaulted and spatted on, and she wouldn't dare comment on it on her YouTube if the perpetuator were POCs or immigrants from third world countries. But yeah, again, another aspect of this that I talked about is that she has an entire YouTube channel based on her logic of being a sexual predator, because she's reacting to lesbian thirst traps, even when they include heterosexual females, like the actress Aubrey Plaza, who I believe was married to a man. Her husband recently passed away. But again, she's reacting to her despite the fact that she, at least at the time, wasn't publicly a lesbian. But that's another thing about the hypocrisy of chicks like her. Lesbians are peak sexual predators. You know, one of their main things is trying to turn out straight girls. But of course, that's never addressed. And then heterosexual females, apex predators as well, because how often do you find stories about, like a 34-year-old woman being caught being involved with a 11-year-old boy, and when she comments on the matter, she blames the 11-year-old boy for coming on to her. Imagine that. But again, that's who and what these women are. And these are primarily Western women, by the way, which goes back to the point of why men travel overseas to expand their dating options, marriage opportunities, or just to hook up. Because the fact is, Western women aren't even worth the headache of trying to have sex with. And they always do the virtue signal about, oh, they're poverty stricken. They're only using you for your money, as if Western women aren't basically official and unofficial prostitutes nowadays. I mean, it always costs to take them out. The advanced or the increasing numbers of OnlyFans is a thing, which, again, feminist women like her, I'm sure, defend. Now, I don't know if she's a lesbo for YouTube or a lesbo in her real life as well, but the fact of the matter is, someone like her shouldn't even be commenting on this, especially when, again, can't even be honest about the fact, because you're so racially cucked, can't even be honest about the fact that the passport bros are black. They're not white. But again, this also is just another example of women like this trying to invade male spaces, as we've seen them do with everything. And they're heavily doing it recently with, sports, with all the gay injections and that, with male cheerleaders in the NFL.